Let's prepare for our practice by settling into our sits bones. And really feeling that sensation of arriving, becoming present with the sensation of the sits bones and the legs. Lengthening the spine, softening the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, and the face. Lifting the heart and connecting with the breath. Just watching the natural rhythm of the breath as you breathe in and out. And then slowing that breath down. And feeling the shift that occurs as you come into the parasympathetic nervous system response in your body, mind, and the sense of the energy of your being in this moment. Breathing in and breathing out. Truly coming inside, letting go of all that exists outside. Feeling that spaciousness. And then looking into that spaciousness and seeing if there's an intention that might guide you through your practice, your day, your week, the month, whatever resonates in this moment. Deep breaths in and long breaths out. And then let's practice some metta now. And practicing for oneself to begin. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May I be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. May I live and practice with ease and grace. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be filled with loving kindness for myself and others. May I live and practice with ease and with grace. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. And may all beings live with ease and grace. Just taking a few more moments to feel the true energy of those words. And may we practice with ease and grace. And please join me, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Let's chant one Om to begin our practice. Take a couple of cleansing breaths first. Deep breath in and let it go. Another one like that. And let that one go. Inhale and begin. Om. And please lower your hands to your legs or your lap. Lengthen your spine and lift your eyelids. And just feel yourself in this moment. Draw your belly in and lengthen your spine. Shoulder blades drawing towards one another on your back. And then send your arms out to either side. Lengthen through the fingertips. Let's take the hands behind our backs and interweave the fingers and then press them down. Draw the shoulder blades together and then rotate the head, drawing the ear to the left. Breathe into the stretch. Opening through the pectorals, you might even feel your scalenes, the muscles along the neck, and down into the pectorals, a deep stretch there. And then a rotation of the head all the way around. Draw the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keep pressing the hands towards the earth and just feel that stretch. Breathe into the sensations. These are the muscles that shorten with the forward head positioning. It's good to stretch, release, and assist our body coming into long, lifted posture. And then return the head to center and back to a neutral. And release your hands, palms to the front of the room, reaching out through the fingertips. Take a breath in, turn the palms to the sky, and reach up. Fingertips touch overhead. Exhale, press down. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another as you lift your heart. Inhale, press up. Lengthen and stretch through the fingertips and side bodies. Exhale, press down. Shoulder blades hug in. Inhale, lift. And this time as you exhale, press the elbows down, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Hug those shoulder blades together. And then inhale, press up. This time exhale, Anjali Mudra. Press the hands together. And then parting the C's, flipping the palms. Inhale, lift up, draw the belly in. Exhale, press down. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale, press up. And again, exhale, press down, this time palms forward, hug the shoulder blades. Inhale, draw them up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Beautiful. Let's take a side bend. Start by lengthening both side bodies and drawing the belly in, reaching long through the crown of your head. And then take the arms out to the side. Inhale, lift the right arm up, come over into the bend. Rotate the ribs so they're facing the front of your mat. Breathe into the right armpit. Send the breath down and out the right hip. Another breath into the armpit and out the other hip. And then rotate, press out through the palm of your right hand. Draw your vision, your gaze towards the earth. Press into the right sits bone. Breathe into the back body, back ribs, under the back scapula, the shoulder blade. And on your next inhalation, rotate the ribs forward. Take another breath to really reach out through the fingertips and extend through the side body. Deep stretch. And then on your next inhalation, root through the sits bones and come back up. Taking it nice and slow to allow the fascia to extend with ease. Lengthen the fingertips out to the sides. Left palm to the sky. Inhale, lift. And come over, bend to the right. Press your left sits bone into the earth and invite the breath into the left armpit. And send it down and out the left hip. Invite the breath into the same armpit and down and out the other hip. Stretch and breathe. And then on your next inhalation, revolve the ribs towards the earth and press out through the palm of your left hand. Gaze towards the earth, drawing the left sits bone towards the mat and breathing into the back of the ribs, under the back scapula. And on an inhalation, revolve your ribs back to the front of the mat. Reach out through those fingertips. Stretch through the side body. Press that left hip towards the earth. Good. And inhale. Root through the hips to come back up. Rotate your shoulders. Lengthen the neck. Lift the heart. And go the other direction. Slow rotations. Good, and then come to stillness. And we'll take a twist. Draw the belly in and lengthen the spine to start. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And on your next inhalation, grow the spine a little bit longer. Exhaling into the twist. Draw your right shoulder blade onto your back body, right fingertips behind you like a kickstand. Turn to look over the back shoulder if that feels good. Stay broad through the collarbones. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to deepen in. Deep breaths in. Long breaths out, relax your shoulders, your jaw, your face. And if it feels good in your body, turn to look over your left shoulder. Breathe into the stretch. Soft jaw, soft eyes. Inhaling to return your head back to neutral. And after your next full breath cycle, take a breath in and lengthen. And as you exhale, return to center. Reset. Take a breath in, grow the spine long. And as you exhale, twist. Twist to the left, wrapping the left shoulder blade onto your back body and turning to look over the back shoulder if that feels good. Staying with your breath. Inhale and grow the spine long. As you exhale, draw the belly in. Remember that little trick, if you draw in on the opposite lower belly from the side you twist towards, it's a nice little help. Stay with the breath, and if it feels good in your body, turn to look over the opposite shoulder. Lengthening the neck and softening the jaw and the eyes. Breathe into the stretch. Good, and then on your next inhalation, return your head back to center. Take a full breath cycle here. And on your next inhalation, grow the spine long once again, exhaling to return to center. Good. Let's come onto our backs and do a little work with the shoulders and the core. So we'll start on the back in constructive rest pose, feet on the mat, knees bent, hip width distance apart. And then please bring your hands and arms into either cactus arms or diamond arms with the fingertips touching overhead if that feels good. And then from here, widen your feet on the mat. Take them to the wide edges of your mat. And draw the low back towards the mat. If you notice your low back popping up, you might want to lift your hips for a moment and extend your spine, your tailbone, towards the bottom of your mat. And then with your breath, keeping the low back drawing down, windshield wiper your legs. Inhaling when the knees come up and exhaling the knees to either side, keeping the arms, hands, and shoulders stable and drawing down towards the earth. Stay with the breath, inhaling up, exhaling over. Mindful of your lower back. Mindful of your shoulders, arms, and hands. Inhaling as the knees come up, exhaling as they lower. Lower back drawing down towards the earth. Shoulders and arms and hands drawing down as well. We'll take one more cycle to each side. And then draw the knees back up and heel toe your feet back to hip width distance apart. Perhaps lift your low back, or your hips up, extend the tailbone long, and come back down onto the mat. And then from here, please lift your knees and feet up off the mat. Obviously, your knees were off the mat. Your feet come off the mat in a 90-90 degree, still keeping the low back glued as best you're able to the mat. We'll take the knees from side to side, keeping those shoulders, arms, and hands glued down, anchored to the mat, anchored to the earth, stabilizing the shoulders. With your breath, slow movements. Doing your best to keep your low back drawing towards the earth. And we'll take one more on each side and then add on. Coming back to center, now we're going to take the knees to, let's say, the left and extend the right leg out. And then draw the knee back in, come back to center, other side, left leg extends long. Come back, and like that, side to side, keeping the shoulders, arms, and hands pressing in to the earth, and doing your best to anchor your lower back down as well. And relax your face. Isolating the movements. And breathing, inhaling up, exhaling as you rotate to either side. And we'll take one more to either side. And then return to center. Lower your feet to the mat and lift your hands. Find your way to bring your hands along your sides to either side and just let the fibers neutralize, come back to their neutral, happy place. Maybe drawing the shoulder blades once again under your back body. And we'll take some yogi sit-ups in just a few breath cycles. So on your next breath in, bring your fingertips behind your head, right behind your ears or at the base of your skull, whatever feels best, taking your elbows out to either side. And then lifting the feet up off the mat so the knees are bent in a 90-degree angle, as well as the hips or the legs at the hip crease. We'll take a breath here and exhale as you lift up Inhaling down, exhaling up. Inhale down, exhale up, and you might even like to add an S breath. So you inhale as you come down and S breath up. Or another option would be to blow through a straw as you come up, decreasing the flow of air. Lift the shoulders, the head and the neck up off the mat, keeping the gaze towards the sky. So the neck is not doing the work. We're drawing the muscle energy into the core. And 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and that's it. Great, wonderful. Come on down. Take a few breaths here. And we'll add on. You can bring your hands to your belly for a couple breath cycles. And then from here, we'll add on by taking a breath in and lifting, and then extending the legs and lower. So it's lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower. On your breath, your movements. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And take a few breaths here. We'll take one more core work out. Couple more breaths to just feel the belly, feel those muscles and the burn. Good work. And one more. So bringing your hands again, we're not going to do that. We're going to take the arms out to the side, lifting the shoulders best you can up off the mat, bringing the legs to a 90-degree bend once again, and then taking a breath in, extending, we'll say the right leg up, the opposite of the side your arms are, and then lower the leg down. On the exhalation, draw it in. Inhaling, lift the leg. Exhale, lower it down slowly, and never let it actually rest on the mat. Inhaling it up. Exhale, slowly lower down with control. Let's do 15 of those. Dorsiflex the foot, please, as you lift it up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and one more. Wonderful. Getting the obliques with this core work. Let's take it to the other side. Lifting the arms, the shoulders, the neck and head. Keep the neck long and reaching those fingertips out. You can even place a block in between your hands if that's helpful. Bringing the knees up. Let's take 15. Inhale up. And exhale, lower down. Carving the heel through the air. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and one more. Wonderful. Take a little rest here in constructive rest pose. Just feel what there is to feel. Those muscles coming to the party. Feeling your core. A few more breaths on your back. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your jaws. Feel your breath. Take a breath in and roll to your side, and then press up using the strength of your arms and hands. Come on to your mat in table pose, and we'll take some cat-cows or upward downward cat. Bring your knees under your hip sockets, your hands under your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Draw the belly in. Turn your toes under. And let's lubricate the spine. Take a breath in. Lift the tailbone towards the sky. Reach long through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, press the earth away. Draw the belly in and press the tops of your feet into the mat. Press out through the back body. Inhale, turn the toes under. Let the heart sink down as you lift the tailbone up and extend long through the crown of your head. Take it slow. Exhale, go the other direction. Press the belly in and up. Draw the back body towards the sky like a Halloween cat. Inhale, lengthen. Open through the front body, reach long through the crown of the head. Wrap the shoulder blades towards one another on your back. Exhale, press away. Inhale. Open up. Exhale, draw it in. One more cycle. Inhale. Lift the tailbone. Lift the crown of the head. Open the heart. Exhale. Press away. Coming back to table pose, let's take a twist. Turn your toes under if you like. And then take a breath in as you extend long and out through the right hand. Scoop it under, come into the twist. Bring your fingertips, your left fingertips right across from your eyes. Hug the shoulder blade onto the back. Notice where your hips are. Option to take the arm up to the sky. Keep wrapping the shoulder blade onto your back body. Take care of your shoulder. Option to take the hand, the arm into the bind if it feels good. And you can keep your shoulder blade hugging in. If you notice your shoulder falls forward, wrap the shoulder blade onto the back. And if that's simply not available, please refrain from taking the bind. Perhaps bringing your hand to the back of your sacrum, or maybe remaining with the arm extended, or even staying right here, which is perfect. Wonderful place to be, drawing the shoulder blade onto the back body. Strengthening the muscles that hug the shoulder blade in. Couple more breaths right here. If you're in the bind, please come out of it. If your arm is extended, please lower yourself back, bringing your fingertips back to the mat. Then take another couple breaths here. And then on your next inhalation, bring your hands under your shoulders and press up. Once again, table pose. Set yourself up. Draw the belly in, lengthen the spine. And on your next inhalation, lift the arm up or out and scoop it under. Bring your fingertips right across from your eyes and hug that shoulder blade onto your back body. Stay right here is just fine. Option to take the arm up. Again, only if the shoulder blade remains stable. An option to take the bind. Stay with your breath. Opening through that pectoral and the scalenes, the neck and the front body. Few more breaths here. Again, notice where your hips are. Keep them right behind you. If you're in the bind, please come out of the bind. And then lower your hand to the mat, please. Press the shoulder blade onto the back body. 2 more breaths here. And then bring both hands under the shoulders and press back up. Come to child's pose, drawing the hips towards the toes, towards the heels. Long spine as you make your way down, drawing the inner groins back, lengthening over the mat. Few breaths into the back body. Hug those arm bones, hug the muscles to the arm bones, lifting them up off the mat, drawing the shoulder blades towards the hips, away from the ears. Couple more breaths here. Pressing the fingertips into the mat. And then please do bring your hands under your shoulders, spread your fingers wide, and lift up. We'll come back to table pose and set up for downward facing dog. Find your blocks perhaps, if they're not already, at the front of your mat. And taking a little longer table, turn your toes under and press up. And you can pedal your legs. Stretch. Perhaps you'd like to send your hips from side to side as you pedal out your legs. Lift your hips, send them back to the wall behind you. Spread your toes wide, root into the index and thumb, the pads behind your fingers. And then inhale, come up onto your toes. A little lift for the sits bones, and then exhaling the heels towards the mat. Maybe you keep a small bend or a deep bend in your knees. Listen to your body. Couple more breaths here. Outer rotation through the head of the arm bones and an inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones. And then a breath in to look towards the front of the mat and step up. All the way up to your hands. Find your blocks or the mat. Bend or lengthen your legs, whatever feels best in your body. Take a couple breaths here in Uttanasana. Maybe bending the knees feels really good. Maybe a small bend. Maybe long legs. Whatever feels right in your body in this moment. And then take your hands to your hips, and with a long spine, come up. Lengthen the arms to either side. Take a few breaths here in Tadasana. Lower your shoulder blades away from your ears and find all 4 corners of your feet. Take a look, make sure those feet are right under your hip sockets. Lengthen your spine. Draw the ears back towards the back of your shoulders. Couple more breaths here. And then find a block. Place it between your thighs. We'll practice chair pose. Again, finding your Tadasana, hugging that block just a little bit so the block is on narrow setting, just enough to hug in and activate the core. Take a breath here, plugging into the soles of your feet, and as you exhale, lower down into your chair, hugging the block, keeping the knees right in front of you like headlights. Draw the belly in, send the tailbone towards the earth, and if it feels good in your practice, you can lift the arms overhead, sit deeply into your chair, hug the core in, feel those muscles that you've been working with this morning. Couple more breaths here. Pressing into all four corners of the feet, sit down deeply, and on an inhalation, press up. Reach the arms overhead, long fingertips, lift the heart, exhaling into Anjali Mudra. We'll take that one more time. Take your arms to either side. Lift through the side bodies, draw the shoulder blades down. Take a breath in and sit down into your chair. Draw the tailbone towards the earth, draw the belly in, wrap the shoulder blades onto your back. Option to take the arms up, or maybe you come into cactus arms. Perhaps even Anjali Mudra. Find what feels good in your practice. Hug those bellies into the back bodies. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, press up. Lift and lengthen. Draw the shoulder blades down. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Good. And then you can release your blocks or block. If you're using blocks in your practice, bring them to the front of your mat. And we'll practice some sun salutations. Take a breath in, press hands, lengthen the spine, press into all four corners of your feet. And as you exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep them up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come halfway up. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow to the legs. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms out to the side. Lengthen over the earth. Inhale again, press up. Fingertips come up overhead and back to Anjali Mudra. We'll add on now. Inhale, press hands, draw the belly in, shoulder blades hugging towards one another. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and come forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Inhale, bend your knees. Frame your feet with your hands or your blocks. Exhale, send your right leg back behind you. Press out. Hug the legs towards one another isometrically and outer rotate the front thigh, inner the back thigh. Lengthen up if you feel like coming up. Take a couple of breaths here. Lift, enjoy. Exhale, lower down. Keep pressing out through that back leg, and then bring your left block or hand to the inside. Press out through the back leg. Take a breath in. The back heel is what I meant. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knee to the mat. Sink in and breathe here. Perhaps you bring your elbows to your blocks. Take a few breaths here. Perhaps you stay up. Find what feels accessible as you practice. Take another couple of breaths here, and then bring your blocks to frame your front foot. Lift up. Bring your arms to either side. Inhale. Lift a little higher. Reach a little longer. Press into all four corners of your front foot. Open through the front body. Inhale. Exhale. Lower down. We're going to reach for the back foot for a quad stretch. So taking your left hand to your right foot, take a little stretch, whatever feels accessible. It's good to stretch those quads. We don't do that so often. And then lowering that foot back down, lengthen the front leg, lift the toes up off the mat, and you can walk your blocks back. Send your hips towards your back foot. And then rocking forward, reach for your back foot once again, quad stretch. Wrap your left shoulder blade onto your back body and breathe. And then lowering that foot back to the mat, lengthening the front leg, lift the toes to the sky, stretching the hamstrings. Stay long through your spine. One more time, we'll rock it forward. Lift the back foot. If lifting the foot is where you get, that's fine. Don't strain. Find what feels right in your practice. And then one more time, we'll lower down and lengthen that front leg. You can also bring your hands to the mat and then rock back forward. Turn your toes under and press back up into lunge pose. Reach out through that back heel. And from here, we're going to step the foot up just a little bit to come into pyramid pose. Another quad stretch, a little different. Draw the spine long. Maybe you lift your blocks up. Find what works for you in your practice. Stay with your breath. Keep the spine long. Couple more breaths here. And then we're going to bend the back knee and step up. Uttanasana. You can bring your blocks with you. Take an inhalation. Bring your hands to your hips, and with the strength of your legs, come back up. Tadasana. Take a couple breath cycles. Liberating energy in the legs. And then please bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra, and we'll take it to this side. Inhale, press hands, open the heart, draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up, fingertips touch overhead. Exhale, open and float down. hinging at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow to the legs. One more inhalation to grow the spine long, come halfway up, draw the belly in, exhale. Keep drawing the belly in as you fold towards the legs. Inhale, bend the knees. Place your blocks or your hands. Exhale, send your left foot back behind you, reaching out through that heel. Isometrically draw the feet, the legs towards one another, and with an outer rotation on the front thigh, inner on the back, lift up if that feels doable and good and appropriate in your practice. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Find your blocks. Take a breath in. Bring your right block in. Lengthen and lower your knee to the mat, your back knee to the mat. Notice where your front knee is. Make sure it's just over the ankle and not beyond it. Feel your hips and the inner thighs, and perhaps you come down. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe one side is different than the other. It is in my body. Couple breaths here, deepening into the stretch. Keep the spine long. And then bringing your hands back to the blocks, reframe your front foot and press the top of your foot back down onto the mat, coming up into Anjaneyasana. And again, you can stay right here or take the arms out, maybe lift them up and come into a small thoracic back bend, lifting the heart towards the sky. Couple breaths here. Reach out through the fingertips, drawing the shoulder blades towards the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Lower the arms back down. Good. Now we're going to take that quad stretch on this side. So reaching back with your right hand for your left foot. Maybe you find your ankle. Maybe you just lift the leg. Take a few breaths here, stretch. And then lower the foot to the mat. And send your hips back as you lift your front toes towards the sky, lengthening that leg, staying long through the spine. Good. Beautiful. And then rocking forward, lift the back leg, and you can stay right here or reach and find it. And then lower and lengthen. Toes to the sky, long spine, rocking forward. We'll find that back foot this last time. And then lower the foot back. Turn the toes under. Bring your blocks to frame your front foot. And we come back into lunge. Press out through that back heel. And then step the back foot forward just enough to come into pyramid pose. And do your best to keep your hip points in the same plane, parallel with the front edge of your mat. Taking a few breaths here, press into all four corners of both feet. Hug the muscles to the bones. If your legs quiver, know you're in good company. Take a few more breaths, keeping the spine long. And then bending your back knee, step up, Uttanasana. And once again, take your hands behind you, link the fingertips with one another, and taking the elbows out to either side, wrap the shoulder blades onto your back and send the arms up, pressing the backs of the hands towards the sky. Let your head hang, and you can shake it yes or no. If that feels good, press the backs of the hands towards the sky and hug the muscles to the bones in your legs, active legs. On your next inhalation, jackknife yourself up, pressing the hands towards the earth, open through the pectorals. Draw the belly in. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let the arms float up, fingertips touch overhead, and Anjali Mudra once again. Beautiful. From here, let's bend the knees and step your right foot back, Virabhadrasana 1. Leaving your blocks at the front of your mat, we'll move from Virabhadrasana 1 to Virabhadrasana 3. So taking your hips, do your best once again. Make sure you're on railroad tracks and then bring your hips into the same plane. The coronal plane, the one that splits us horizontally, or you can look at the body horizontally. So we're bringing the hip points to parallel the front edge of our mats. Keeping this, do your best to hug the muscles to the bones in your legs. Send the arms to either side and inhale, lift the arms and bend the front knee. Virabhadrasana 1. Press into the knife edge of your back foot. Draw the belly in, reach through the fingertips. Couple breaths here. Lift the back inner ankle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen the front leg and float the arms down. From here, we're going to bend the front knee and find the blocks. Maybe you lift them up. And then lengthen the front leg and lift the back leg up. Maybe you walk your blocks out. And reach long through that back foot. Dorsiflex the foot and press out through the heel, the sole of the foot. Breathe here with a long spine, long leg. Hug the muscles to the bones in the supporting leg and lift up out of the hip, and do your best to keep both hips level. And then bending the front knee, lower the back leg down, walk your blocks back, lengthen the front leg, and you're back in pyramid pose. Take a couple of breaths here. And then step forward. Bring your right foot forward, Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Press into all four corners of both feet. Hug the muscles to the bones in your legs. And then use that strength to lift up. And come back into Tadasana. And a couple breaths here. Good, and then please bend your knees and step your left foot back. Find your way into Virabhadrasana 1. Again, notice your hip points. Make sure you're on railroad tracks and not a tightrope. Make sure your front foot, the second toe, is facing forward and your back foot is at an angle, a 45-degree angle. Bring those hip points to parallel the front edge of your mat, and then, keeping that, send your arms to either side. Inhale, lift the arms, bend the front knee. Extend long through the fingertips, side bodies. Draw the shoulder blades towards your hips. Lift through the back ankle. Inhale and exhale. Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen the front leg and lower the arms. And then bending your front knee, find your front blocks, or your blocks, your front blocks, not your back blocks. And then lengthening the front leg and lifting the back. Virabhadrasana 3. Hug the muscles to the bones in your supporting leg and lengthen all the way out through the back heel, pressing out through the sole of that foot. And lift out of the hip, the supporting hip, keeping both hips in the same plane. Stay long through the back body. Couple more breaths here. Draw the belly in. Beautiful. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend your front knee and lower your back foot to the mat. Walk your blocks to frame your front foot and pyramid pose. Do your best to keep your hips in alignment. Press into all four corners of both feet. Hug the muscles to the bones and the legs. Keep your spine long. And then bending the front knee, step up, Uttanasana. Bow to your legs. Find all four corners of both feet. Take a couple of breaths here and then bring your hands to your hips. Begin to lengthen the spine so you're paralleling your torso with the earth, hugging the muscles to the bones and the legs. Inhale, lift up, and bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Take a couple of breaths here, perhaps closing your eyes and feeling all the energy moving through the body. All that energy that was held in those fibers, tissues of the body, now flowing freely. Send your breath to those. It's your life energy. Good. So let's come onto the mat. Bring your blanket. Lower down with the best biodynamics available in this moment in your body. Use your awareness to come onto your mat, onto your blanket. Sit in staff pose, Dandasana. Feel those core muscles. Draw the belly in, lengthen the side bodies, and lower the shoulders away from the ears. Take a breath in to grow the spine even longer. Inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones and then hinging at the hips. Find your way into Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold. So keeping the spine long, just notice where you arrive. In this moment, make sure your at the anterior portion of your sits bones. That will really help. And an inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones is really beneficial as well. Keep your feet active, pressing out through the soles of your feet, especially the big toe pads. And you might find a little more freedom in this movement. Perhaps, perhaps not. Stay with the breath, a few breaths more here. Giving ample time for the fibers in the backs of the legs to lengthen and soften and expand and release anything that might be held there. And then with an inhalation, come up and we'll come onto our backs. Find your way into constructive rest pose. We'll take figure 4 once you've arrived. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart. And we'll start by crossing your right ankle over your left. We'll get into our outer hip flexors. Take a breath in and draw the knee towards you. Do your best to keep your waist towards the earth. So if you notice in your body that your back tends to arch up and your waist pops up off the mat, draw it back down. Keep your feet dorsiflexed, active feet. Drawing your thigh towards you. Stay with your breath, relaxing your shoulders, your face. Breathe into the stretch. Send your breath to the hip. Tell it it's okay to release and let go. And you can circle your left ankle and even dorsiflex and point that foot if that feels good. And then coming back to that dorsiflexion in both feet with a long spine. We're going to come into a twist here, taking a breath in, release the legs and let them float over to the left, opening the arms into a T. Maybe you look over towards your left hand. If it's beneficial for you in your practice to place a rolled blanket or a block under your knee, you may always do so. Please always feel free to modify. Invite the breath into your right armpit, into the right lobe of the lung and the ribs, the side waist. Then release the breath and let it go all the way out the hip. On your next breath in, press the arms into the earth, draw the belly in, and use the muscles in the legs to lift back up. Uncross, and we'll set up for the other side. Taking a breath in, cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Keeping both feet dorsiflexed, reach for your right leg, either the the shin, or the thigh. Breathe into the stretch. Breathe into your hip, your outer hip flexors. Again, notice your lower back. If it pops up into an arch, do your best to draw it back down. Good. Breathe into the hip. And if you'd like to dorsiflex and flex and point your right toes, your right foot, maybe rotate the ankle in both directions. That is an option. And then coming back to flexion in both feet. Prepare to come into the twist, releasing your legs, opening the arms into a T. Then you can lower the knees and the legs to the right. And maybe you look over towards your left fingertips. And breathe into the stretch. And invite the breath into the left armpit and the left lobe of the lung, ribs, the side waist, and that hip. Release the breath, let it go. Soft face, soft jaws, soft shoulders. Orienting towards coming out of the twist. Take a breath in and press the arms into the earth. Draw the belly in, and with the strength of the legs, lift them back up. Releasing the twist, releasing the pose, bring both feet to the mat, and then draw the knees in towards the chest, Uttanasana. Keep the spine long. Do your best to keep your lower back on the mat. Relax the shoulders and the face. Relax your jaw. Breathe. If it feels good in your body and you'd like to bring your head towards your knees, please do whatever feels right at this moment. Couple more breaths here in Uttanasana. And then on your exhalation, release your legs and arms and head into Shavasana. Taking your legs out a little wider and your arms out a little wider. Take some deep breaths here. Letting each breath go. Breathe into the space between your legs. And let that breath go. And now please breathe into the space between your side bodies and your arms. And let that breath go. And now a breath into the space between your shoulders and your ears. And let that breath go. Take another breath in. And exhale a wave of breath all the way down and out your toes and your fingertips. And another one like that. Let everything go. Begin to notice the heaviness of your bones. Your bones growing so dense and so heavy, they simply cannot move. Feel the sensation of your bones settling down towards the earth. Heavier and heavier. And then notice the muscles as they release all tension and balloon out, drawing down like jelly, settling into the earth. And then the natural inclination of the skin as it melts itself into the earth as well. And as you settle deeply into the earth, what's left is the breath. Floating like wings beneath your heart of gold. Begin to visualize your radiant golden heart radiating warmth and glowing brightly, sparkling with radiant rays of light, golden light. Shining brightly with all the other golden hearts. And perhaps you can draw yourself back just enough to see all the golden hearts surrounding the earth, with a beautiful glow of gold. A vision for the golden age. Keeping your golden heart shining brightly, begin to notice your breath once again. The rise and the fall of the breath in the chest and belly. Maybe you bring your hand, one hand to your heart and the other to your belly, where you can feel the breath as it rises and releases. This divine gift of breath. And then beginning to feel into the body. Noticing your fingertips and your toe tips and bringing some movement to those. Circling wrists and ankles in both directions. And if it feels good in your body, take a stretch, lifting your arms overhead and pointing your toes. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And on your next inhalation, roll to your right side. And there you lie. Enjoy a few breaths there. Let it all sink in. And when you're ready, find your way up to a seat on your mat. And please bring your hands together in front of your heart. And you can bow your head to your heart in gratitude for your heart and all that it gives you. Gratitude for one another and for our furry friends. Gratitude for practices and teachings that guide us along the way. And gratitude for all those who have gone before. And for life itself. And with gratitude, sending loving kindness to all beings. May all beings be happy and peaceful, healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected, filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. And may all beings live with ease and grace all the days of their lives. Please join me in one Om, and we'll simply inhale to begin. Om. Thank you once again. Thank you so much for your practice, for joining with one another, for being committed to yourself. Thank you. Namaste.